and welcome to Carry On Friday. Yes, we're back again. It's me, Alan White.
And me, Peter Sheward.
And we're back for another week of frivolous, fantastic fun and flames.
And gumph.
I
haven't used that for ages. I haven't. Oh, yes, because you like a little bit of alliteration, don't you?
Great, gracious gumph.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
No.
Oh.
Anyway, what we got coming up?
Well, we've got the second part of our fabulous interviews from Kai Owen and Gareth David Lloyd.
Indeed we have. That's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
It is. It's very exciting. And if you missed it last week, don't forget you can catch up on YouTube.
Oh, yes, we'll remind you about that later on. We've got the return of the Pants Anthem as well, and lots of lovely, amusing songs and entertainment.
Like songs from Agnes, maybe.
Why don't we have a bit of Agnes now?
I love it. The very beautiful Agnes there with Release Me. Now, I realise when you look at the video, she looks like a cross between Joss Stone and Leona Lewis.
Does she? I haven't seen the video, sadly.
Oh, she's very pretty. She's like the best bits of both of them.
I didn't know what you were going to say. She's like a crossbreed between.
No, being very kind. She's very pretty.
I should say as well, we opened the show with Razorlight Before I Fall to Pieces. But if you don't know that, then where have you been the last few years, really?
What, the last few years or the last few minutes to miss the song?
Both. Both, really. Your voice is a bit battered.
Yes, it is a little bit.
We should draw attention to that first. It's not a problem with the microphones, because often there is a problem with the microphone.
Yes,
but you know,
not today.
No. So you'll tell us more about that later on.
Oh yes, because we can't waste time talking about my voice when we have got more interviews from the fabulous Tortured team.
That's true. You did an interview last week, didn't you, with Gareth David Lloyd and Kai Owen? We played the first part of it on last week's show. We've got the second part coming up now. So shall we hear from Gareth David Lloyd?
I think it's wise. I'm delighted to welcome to Carry On Friday the marvellously sexy Gareth David Lloyd.
What an intro.
Now, you also directed a production of Boogie Nights at Newport's Dolman Theatre in early June. Tell me about that.
In my spare time, I lecture and direct at the college that I went to, Coleg Gwent.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just one of the shows they were doing, and I had a couple of months on my hands, so one of my former lecturers and dance teachers, Cheryl Harper, who's now in charge of the course, she just called me up and asked me if I'd like to direct Boogie Nights, and I thought, oh, it's a bit of fun, what the hell, thin plot, stringing together a lot of 70s numbers, sounds like fun, so...
It was, and was it fun, was it good, was it well received?
Well, I didn't see it because I was in Chicago doing a convention, but apparently on the last night, the audience were on their feet, sort of dancing and clapping to the songs, and everyone had a standing ovation. So I assume it went well.
Now, you've also been doing the successful Torchwood radio plays, but you've also been doing some other audiobooks as well. Tell us about those.
Yeah, I've done some horror stories. I've done Lovecraft, and I've done M.R. James. Which are great fun, and I've only done the one Torchwood audiobook, and it was a shame because I enjoyed doing them. I wouldn't mind doing some more.
So what's next for Gareth David Lloyd?
I'm going to do some gigs with my band. Now I've got a bit of spare time.
And are you touring anywhere? Can people come and see you here in Wales?
Yeah, we are playing on the 14th of August in the legendary TJ's in Newport.
Excellent.
And I'm hosting my own event called Sex, Wales and Anarchy, which is a one-day festival which is a sort of showcase for unsigned and unrepresented musicians and artists, poets, writers and things like that, documentary makers, and that's going to be in the Toucan Club in Cardiff. It's all 5 floors from 12 midday till 8. We'll be playing that as well, and Sex, Wales and Anarchy.
Fantastic. Now, can people get all that information from your website?
Yes, they will be able to very shortly.
And what's your website?
It's www.garethdavid-lloyd.co.uk. Sorry.
Fantastic. Now, I've also got some questions from our listeners. Simon Keith Bromley would like to know, what's your favourite, most memorable moment / episode of all 3 series?
One of them has to be in the cellar of the cannibals in Countryside.
Love that. Was that one of your favourite episodes, do you think?
It was to shoot, and it's one of my favourite episodes, especially the first series. And it was one of the most fun to shoot because we all got to stay in a posh Welsh
Hotel out in the middle
hotel.
of the Brecons.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Now, his sister asks, if you could have an underground base anywhere, where would you have it?
Under the Muringer, which is my favourite pub in Newport.
Okay.
So
you can go
in the cellar, so I could just
just stay in the cellar.
yeah, I could just stay in the cellar. It'd be fine. Yeah.
Delphine Fucha would like to know: did you watch Doctor Who when you were younger? And if so, who was your favourite Doctor?
I did watch Doctor Who when I was younger, but because of my age, the only one I got to see that was sort of regularly on television was Sylvester McCoy.
Ah.
I missed all the others, so he would have to be the sort of the Doctor I remember from my youth. So I suppose the one I've got more nostalgia for.
Okay.
But now after revisiting Doctor Who after Russell sort of relaunched it into the spotlight, I suppose Tom Baker is the most
Popular.
iconic of Doctors.
Yeah, well, I think David Tennant's really snapping at his heels to become the most iconic Doctor, apparently.
We'll
just have to wait.
It could be. I think that's one of those things that time tells, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know he's finished, but it's one of those things that time will. You need a few years after you finish before you see the mark that you made in history.
Absolutely. Now, Jade Adams asks, how many times have you seen John's? I hear he gets it out a lot. I don't know what the blank is, but you can fill that in yourself, I'm sure.
Countless.
Just walking around the set, out it comes.
Well, I'll just say countless.
Now, Julie Kissack asks, this is quite a serious question. Thousands of drama students leave uni every year. Most of them fail to make it into the industry. What advice would you give them, apart from the usual stick at it?
Just self-belief, actually, and training yourself to crawl out of a hole. And as far as advices with drama schools and sort of what sort of educational or training route, everyone's different. You know, what works for one person certainly isn't the blueprint for somebody else.
Follow your own path, really, and believe in yourself.
Yeah, but believe in your own path and believe in yourself.
Oh, I like that. Sarah Davis asks, if you could have been a different Torchwood character, who would you have been and why?
I would like to have been Captain John because so opposite in many ways to Yanto. It would have been I would have liked to have done something completely different, just to show that I could really. But yeah, I would have liked to have done something like Captain John, or maybe something like that in the future.
We could keep our fingers crossed. And Nikki Walker, final question: what's the craziest fan mail you've ever had? Do you get women sending you knickers or anything like that? No,
I don't actually. It's all pretty sweet things. It's like, I mention it in a lot of interviews because I think it's the weirdest present I've ever had. Is the My Little Pony dressed as Yanto.
A My Little Pony
in a Yanto suit, and the detail on it is incredible. It looks factory made.
I think you need to take a photo of it and put it on your website.
I think I'm going to actually.
I think you should. Now, Alan's challenge would be to see if you can say, how much wood could a Torchwood torch if a Torchwood could torch wood? Even I can say it then.
How much wood could a Torchwood torch if a Torchwood could torch wood?
Fantastic! Brilliant. I love it. That's a new tongue twister that I think everyone's going to start doing now. Gareth, can I just say you've been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm really sorry that Yanto's no more in Torchwood. That's a huge disappointment. But he still lives on in audio dramas, audio plays, and I'm sure they'll get you back to do other things. I wish you all the best of luck with your band and also with all your signings and everything that you've got coming forward. Gareth, you've been an absolute pleasure, and it's been a real honour. You truly are a Welsh legend. Thank you so much. Gareth David Lloyd!
Thank you. Thanks, mate.